have just stumbled across a game that can only be described as post-apocalyptic. This is a classic game from 1932 between Eliskases and Rudolf Spielmann. Eliskases once, in 1938 and 39, went on an 8-tournament unbeaten streak. So we're dealing with some good chess players here. The game started off d4, d5, knight f3, e6, c4, and now Eliskases goes for something I actually play yourself, yours truly, which is the triangle system. And here this can come into some really nice openings that are extremely sharp, per se, after knight c3. After knight c3, black can play a move here that is not generally played, but here it's acceptable because we have played the root move c6, and that is the move d takes c4. Here, black accepts the late queen's gambit to then support this pawn with b5, and just all sponsored by this c6 pawn. And this is called the note boom variation of the triangle system. e4 is played to attack this pawn. Today, I think the more clean way to play is e3 to attack this because d4 is still solid. And after e4, b5 is played to defend. e5 played, bishop e7. Okay, so we go into the opening. We're just developing here. What's really important to know is that white is just up a pawn, but white has more activity, it looks like, on this queen side and easier playing and plans. White goes with bishop e7, quick f4 by the white pieces, and now g6, stopping all of these f5 things. A better way to deal with this was actually to simply castle, because this is not that much a threat. You can just take back, and on rook takes, well, you have some little kickings here, and the pawn up is actually felt after you counterattack with c5 and stuff like this. So, g6 is played for preventative measures, but you really get punished on these dark squares here. So on f5, a pawn sacrifice by two ways, white intends to open up this late king's development and try to penetrate on this open king side, right? So Eliskases takes with the pawn, but okay, it's the best move. I mean, the eval bar at the left side of your screen is having an absolute stroke. So I think it's this. e6 was played in the game, and now we take back. Knight takes, attacking this queen. It's looking so spooky. This knight is attacked on e4. Our queen is attacked, which means it must move, but we're still up a pawn as the black pieces. Now, let me just change the view to the white pieces so you can see how beautiful this looks. White looks to be dominating, but black still has a pawn up. So queen b6 is played, and now this knight is attacked, and Spielmann, known as an aggressive attacking player, I mean, he did write The Art of the Sacrifice in Chess, a chess book that's very, very well known. Here he plays a4, completely sacrificing a knight on e4. Eliskases takes this knight, accepts the sacrifice, and it gets really scary after a5 is forcing this queen to blockade itself on a6. The queen has next to no mobility here, and really begs the question, is this a piece worth 9 points still on this chessboard? That's what Spielmann is going for. So he goes with queen c2 here, attacking this e4 pawn, and really, one can say that this is too slow. The white pieces do have compensation for this sacrifice here on e4. Via knight g7 check, the king can't go on the f-file because of this rook. The king goes back and then just check back. And white has close to a draw. If the king refuses the draw and goes to c8, well then just bishop g4, and white would have some compensation for the material given up. But here, he's going with a really slow, like, I'm in a better position than you, and it's not obvious how to defend this with the black pieces. You're up a piece and a pawn, but how are you defending against queen takes? How are you defending against bishop g5 after that? How are you defending against bishop g4? It's all coming in so fast from the white pieces. Rudolf Spielmann defends even though counterattacking here was the best move with c5. That would have been really nice to see. But knight f6 was played to defend e4, and Spielmann doesn't care at all. There's a reason why we are seeing this game from the black pieces' perspective, because this is the art of defense. Rook takes f6 is played. What? Rook takes f6. Sacrificing yet another piece in this game. And this is not a bad move. This is the second best move in this position. So it's not like a terrible sacrifice. Spielmann returns the favor by taking back with the bishop. Again, the eval bar on the left side of your screen doesn't know what mental health is, so it's just going way up. But here, it's better to take back with the bishop. I don't know why the eval bar is just, okay, saying whatever. Queen takes e4 is played here, threatening this triple royal discovered fork with knight c7, picking up the queen. And this forces a king move since we cannot castle with our king. So the king goes to f7, and now knight c5 is played, attacking our queen and trapping our queen. And this is why we are seeing this from the black pieces' perspective. This is how Eliskases saves this game with a king in the center, connected rooks, a bishop that's never going to see the light of day. Let's just be honest here. A bishop that's really just sheltering this king on f7. It's not doing much for now, but you'll see this bishop is king. And I will admit this is the nicest knight I've probably ever seen in my existence. Here, Eliskases goes with rook a8 to start things off, counter-attacking by attacking the queen. White does not want an equal trade of material because we'll be up like a piece, a rook, and an entire estate. Yeah, okay. The queen moves, queen f3, and this is where you need to find, or you need to take risks in chess, and the best risks are taken in dire positions. Black to play and win. See if you can make yourself proud. Write down below in the comments what you think black should play here. Eliskases went with rook takes e2. An absolute brilliant move in this position. Let me explain why. Here we would like to take with the bishop with check, but our bishop is pinned, okay? So if you take here with the rook and the queen takes back, then the bishop is unpinned and we can take on d4 with check, picking up this knight on c5, and thus our queen isn't trapped enough. It's like a revolving puzzle chess. It's always a different little puzzle that is changing, and this is the puzzle here. We want to take the queen off of our bishop's pin. Now, that being said, if you don't take my rook and you go with what was played in the game, knight takes queen, then we can have some little fun of our own, which happened in the game. And from here, it's just pure fun. The rook is attacked, so we're going rook e1 check. The king is forced to f2. Now we would like to pick up this knight, but our rook is attacked. So rook h e8 is played here, and now the knight balances back to c5, attacking our bishop. Here, Eliskases plays very simple with bishop c8, just getting out of this attack. And mind you, okay, white is winning on paper maybe, but black is absolutely dominating on the chessboard. The bishop is pinned to the rook. The queen has to stay around the king because otherwise the rooks are checkmating this king. The rook is immobile because it has to defend the bishop. It's just a problem after problem after problem. The position is collapsing on one queen move, let's say here, because bishop takes d4 is happening. All of black's pieces are in the perfect squares in this position, and most of white's pieces are in bad squares or just passive squares. It doesn't matter what material is on the board. What matters is what the material you have you can do with, and what the material your opponent has can do with as well. White has one turn to make this bishop not being able to take d4 felt, and that is b4 here, trying to get for a quick bishop e2 to try to trade off these rooks. And it's right. Here, the king move is now played, and Eliskases is threatening this fork once again, and more than a fork, it's probably just winning. Bishop b2 to trade rooks. Do we trade rooks? We could, actually, after takes, bishop takes, and just rook f8, this is winning for black. Like, this threat is just so strong. It's winning for black here. Like, it's completely over, which is hard to believe. It's physically hard to believe that. But okay, bishop b2 is played, and the obvious non-trading of rooks down material is just too simple. So Eliskases plays rook 1 e3, the queen moves back to d1, and now we go for a nice move, c3, really restricting your opponent's pieces and making them just unable to be competitive in this chessboard is such a difference, because now when the bishop goes back, the rook is not only just completely blocked off from ever participating in this defensive position, but also the bishop itself is just a train wreck. On c1, the bishop attacks our rook, but Eliskases looks so much past this, and it's so nice. Okay, the queen was brought back to d1 to defend this pawn from the bishop, but Eliskases sees that this is the perfect opportunity to deflect the queen off of d4 with a move like c2, attacking a more powerful piece than my attacked rook. If queen d2 maintaining the defense here, we just take here anyways. And on queen takes, we have rook f8 check. What? No, so nice. Why doesn't this work now? Because I'm learning as you are, oh, bishop takes now. Okay, but the bishop can't take now. I see. Anyways, in the game, white took on c2, and now bishop takes d4, which is threatening a gazillion discovered checks. Literally any rook move here is a discovered check. Of course, you're favorizing these, like, the ones that are obviously winning or checkmate. But okay, a move like this sacrifices yet another piece on this board. You just have to say it at this point. Bishop takes rook, rook takes bishop. And now, black is reduced to having two bishops. 1, 2, a bishop pair for a queen. Now we're threatening discoveries again, galore. I mean, maybe not rook e1, but you see what I'm saying. It's just all over the board, there are threats. So Spielman would have most likely resigned in this position. That's why it wasn't played. Actually, what was played is there's just the cash out rook e2 check. And after the queen took, here he took with the bishop with check, which is kind of cool. And now bishop e3. If you go back with your king, which is, you know, the query, we just take this queen and we're taking a full queen for free. It's actually insane. It's like one of the only times you can take a queen for free in chess. So the bishop blocks, rook takes e3. It's quite the same position here, although there's down a piece. And on paper now, okay, it's a little bit better. It's a queen for, no, it's still a queen for two bishops. Still a queen for two bishops. Wherever the queen moves, the rook will chase with a discovered check, winning the queen. The queen goes to f1. This is the only square where you can play a rook move, and okay, the king will take, and I'm happy again. So Spielman probably saw this position like 7 moves ago, and now sees this, and okay, queen f1, and we are safe now. The queen against 2 bishops is gonna win for me. If you take my rook, I'm just gonna take back, and this is a completely drawn position, apparently, says the engine, but white has some specs. So Eliskases plays this really nice move. I mean, it's almost like that very, very famous Tal game in which he had a rook bishop lined up against a king exactly on these squares. I think I have actually analyzed that game before, so scour my channel to find it. Here, Eliskases plays rook a3, discovered check on this king. Absolutely dirty. The rook is defended, but okay, no, you're winning a rook. But there's more than that. Here, okay, Spielman resigns, but let's say you go king e2. Bishop g4, making your suffering and pain last longer. The king goes here, and now bishop c3. King goes here, knight takes b4 check. And it's checkmate. No, but it's so nice. It's so nice. King here, check. Check. The king can go to d3, but then you just take this with check, and then it's a king hunt. I mean, it's just checkmate like this. It's so pretty. it's so pretty. The king can go to c3, c2, but then you run into, I mean, it's an absolutely chaotic, like, the only word to describe this is actually post-apocalyptic. White was ravaging this game, sacrificing piece after piece, and then black sacrificed the queen for an unsafe king and a counterattack on an open file. I mean, just crazy. I hope you enjoyed. I enjoyed this. Have a fantastic day and see you in the next video.